NFL Week 5 is right upon us, and I am excited to break down some of these games, some key matchups, and let's pick some winners. First of all, we start off with the Falcons versus the Jets facing off in London across the Atlantic at 6:30 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. Ugh. Am I going to wake up for this game? No, it's not a game worth waking up for. The Jets just come off a big win against the Tennessee Titans, which no one expected. And then the Atlanta Falcons are the Atlanta Falcons. They've not been a good team at all this season. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Falcons in this matchup just because I believe in their offense more than I believe in the Jets defense. Next, we're going to take the Lions versus the Vikings. Lions are 0-4. Jared Goff has not been able to get a win as a Detroit Lion. It might really be a curse over there in Detroit, facing off against the Vikings, who could easily be 3-1 this year. They've lost 2 heartbreaking losses. Kirk Cousins has been playing well. I like to see their offense. Their offense is very explosive. Their defense just needs to come up with some takeaways, and they should be able to cruise. But I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings here just because Kirk Cousins is a stud, matched up with Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, one of the best duos in the NFL. It's very hard to pick against them. Next, we got the New Orleans Saints versus the Washington Football Team. I'm going to go with the Washington Football Team because they are at home. Their defense hasn't been as elite as a lot of early projections were considering. However, they have found something in Antonio Gibson, the wide receiver who transitioned into a running back in the NFL, has been playing absolutely lights out. He's a weapon out of the backfield. And Heineke has been quite effective as an NFL quarterback. The Saints, they have been inconsistent. I don't think they really know what they're trying to do. They're trying to play Drew Brees football with Jameis Winston. That's just not conducive of winning. Jameis Winston likes to throw that long ball. Sean Payton's asking for that West Coast offense. And I mean, I know it has to throw off Winston's rhythm every time they take him out and bring in Taysom Hill for a wildcat quarterback power, whatever you want to call it. That I just don't think that works. I think the experiment in New Orleans, you either have to go with Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston, but you have to make a decision. Let Taysom play that tight end position. Let Taysom play some other positions I know he can play. I think that'll be the best for the Saints at this point. Next, got Patriots, Texans. I think you got to go with the Patriots here. Mills is a rookie quarterback going to be facing off against the Belichick defense. It's never a good time for rookie quarterbacks to face off against that defense. That defense is an amoeba. They just throw everything at you. You don't know who's going, who's coming. You don't know. You can have D linemen drop back in coverage. You can have linebackers blitz. You can have safeties, corners blitz. It's going to be a very tough time for Mills over there in the Houston Texans. Going to go with the Patriots. Next, got Dolphins versus Buccaneers. Dolphins, I really like B-Flow, Brian Flores. I think he's a really good coach. I think their quarterback position is a really big question mark. They need to trade for Deshaun Watson if everything with Deshaun Watson, his legal issues, is coming together is going to be resolved. But you got to go with the Buccaneers here. TB12 is going to play until he's 50. Offensive weapons, they're the favorite to go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. Got to go with the Buccaneers. Next week, Next we got the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers facing off against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Green Bay Packers, they're really starting to pick it up, especially after that Week 1 loss to New Orleans. That was a fluke. It looks like watching them recently. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers as always. Cincinnati Bengals, though, are a surprising 3-1, and this is in Cincinnati. It's going to be a very tough matchup for Green Bay. I'm actually going to go with Cincinnati here. I want to see Joe Burrow really have that shootout with Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay's defense has been very susceptible to the run. Joe Mixon is questionable with an injury. Samaje Perine might be the running back for the Bengals. We're going to have to wait and see. But if Joe Mixon is playing and is healthy, I think this easily goes to Cincinnati. Next, you got the Broncos versus the Steelers. Got to go with the Broncos here. This is no question in my mind. Ben Roethlisberger has looked like he has been unable to play the quarterback position at a NFL level this season. Denver has had a stout defense. Von Miller is back in form, playing absolutely lights out. It's just been rough for Pittsburgh. I don't know what they can do. They just have to move away from Ben Roethlisberger. I think his career it's at its twilight. It's over. He's had a good run. 2 Super Bowl championships. What can you say? It's not looking good in Pittsburgh right now. This season is not going to be good. This might be Mike Tomlin's first losing season as a head coach. Next, you got the Eagles versus Carolina. The Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold has had a resurgence into his career. He is only 24 years old, if I recall correctly. So he definitely has a ton of potential. The quarterback is playing exceptional ever since leaving the New York Jets. The Eagles, Jalen Hurts has looked good. He's put up big offensive numbers, but they just seem like they cannot stop another offense. They just can't do it. If you can't stop an offense, you're going to lose 35-31 every week. You got to get takeaways. You got to make stops if you want to win in the NFL. The Eagles have been unable to do that. Carolina is one of the best defenses in the NFL. I think this goes handily to the Carolina Panthers. Next, you got Titans versus Jaguars. Titans coming off a very, very tough loss to the Jets. They had a lot of injuries last week. The receiving corps was not what they usually have. A.J. Brown and Julio Jones were both out with injury. Then you got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who just a lot of growing pains, a lot of issues with Urban Meyer so far, just in terms of the locker room doesn't really believe in him. There's been a lot of off-the-field issues, a lot of off-the-field distractions, which can severely impact a team. This has to go to the Tennessee Titans. I think Urban Meyer will not last the season. Next, you got the Cleveland Browns versus the LA Chargers. This is going to be a great game. This is arguably the best game of the weekend. That or Buffalo versus the Chiefs, but we'll get there later. Justin Herbert has been lights out. He has been an impeccable quarterback in his second season. That defense gets takeaways. Asante Samuel Jr. is playing a lockdown corner position. But then with Cleveland, that running game, one of the best running games in the NFL. You can't match that. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt running it down your throat every single play. Oh my goodness. Thunder and lightning is that running back core. I am gonna go with the Chargers because Baker Mayfield, it just came out this week that he has a torn shoulder labrum. I believe partially torn, but very hard to play with any type of injury, especially something so severe. So I have to go with the Chargers. I just don't think Baker Mayfield is going to be able to complete the completions he has to his targets, and that's going to be what hurts them. Next, we have the Chicago Bears versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I got to go with the Raiders because the Raiders have looked like a great team so far this season. They are coming off their first loss. It occurred against the Chargers, but Derek Carr has been playing very well. That defense, man, Max Crosby, Mad Max, he's a stud. I love Max Crosby. His ability, his motor, it's very, very fun to watch. I got to go with the Raiders. The Bears just don't have really an offense right now. They don't. Justin Fields is the starter going forward, but how's he going to face off against that defense? It's not going to be very good. 49ers versus Cardinals. Kyler Murray has looked like an MVP favorite so far this season. The 49ers, once again, injuries after injuries after injuries have decimated their team. They just cannot move forward. It hurts. Ever since that Super Bowl run they had, making it to the Super Bowl, facing off against the Kansas City Chiefs, they have just been decimated by injuries year in and year out. Painful to watch. Trey Lance is getting the start for San Francisco. It's going to be really nice to watch him, but he's playing against the Cardinals and Chandler Jones. I'll have to see how it goes. Taking the Cardinals in that one. Next, we have the Cowboys versus the Giants. And I really want to take the Cowboys because of how they've looked so far. Trayvon Diggs has been stud. Absolute stud. He just makes big-time plays. But they're facing off against a divisional opponent. Cowboys historically do not fare well against divisional opponents like the Washington football team, Giants, and Eagles. They just consistently underperform. I think they play down to their opponents in these situations. I'm going to take the Cowboys, but this is a timid pick because they're playing a division rival. On Sunday night, we got the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen facing off the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to take Kansas City because this is in Kansas City. That defense, the Chiefs defense has been terrible. Absolutely terrible. It's going to be very hard for someone like Tyreek Hill to get very many big plays against the stud corner, who's Tre'Davious White, who is right now the best corner in the NFL, in my personal opinion. If you disagree with that, let me know in the comment who you think is the best corner in the NFL. It's either him or Jalen Ramsey. I think Tre'Davious White is a better zone coverage corner. Jalen Ramsey is man-to-man all day, every day. Those are the guys. Those are the two. Got Got to go with Kansas City just because this is in Kansas City. However, if they cannot hold on to the ball like they have in the past 2 weeks, constantly giving up turnovers, it's going to be a rough ride, and the Bills are going to capitalize on those mistakes. Lastly, we have the Baltimore Ravens facing off against the Indianapolis Colts. Got to go with Baltimore here. Colts have not looked good this season. Carson Wentz has not proven to be a quality quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Lamar Jackson has been doing what Lamar Jackson does, make big plays every time with his legs, with his arm. Honestly, Lamar Jackson this season, I think, is passing the best he ever has. He hits Marquise Brown, which in the past 2 seasons has been like, what is going on? You got this stud talent, absolute blazing speed in Marquise Brown, and he just has not been able to capitalize. Now he is. They make big plays. I think Marquise Brown has 100 yards in each of the last 2 games. It's been fun to watch. I love seeing that. And now that adds another dimension. This could be a big step forward for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Can they finally make that run to the Super Bowl? If Lamar Jackson keeps making these plays, they can and they will. Taking Baltimore in this game. Those are my Week 5 picks. Let me know what you guys think down below. See ya.